Here's everything you're going to need for tonight's dinner. You're going to need salt, pepper, some ranch seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, some mayonnaise, carrots, my leftover piece of chicken, some of my leftover soup, and a couple of my tortillas. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. It's going to be really cool. First thing I'm going to do is shred up that piece of chicken. I'm going to take 2 forks and I'm just going to pull it apart. It's going to be a little bit difficult because it's still cold, but I'm just going to break up the chicken. Just keep going at it until I get all the pieces off. All right, so I'm chopping it down just a little bit to get the pieces even a little bit smaller. This had a lot of chicken still left on there. It's probably more than I could eat for tonight's dinner. Alrighty, so I'm going to put this into a bowl and we're going to go from there. I'm going to take just a couple of my carrots and I'm going to dice them up really small to put in. Oops. Because I don't want them too crunchy and I'm not going to cook them. So I want to make them really small so I get the taste of the carrot or the bite of the carrot without the entirety of the carrot. The carrots are getting a little dry because I took them out of the bag, washed them off, and put them in another container. All you gotta do is just soak them, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna cut them up, the rest of them, about that size. All right, so I got a little chop happy on the carrots, but now I'm gonna wash the hands and I'm gonna put this in a bowl and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my chicken in there and I got my diced up carrot in there with this one giant piece. I'm gonna eat that one. All right, so we're just gonna make with this, we're gonna make like chicken salad. I don't have all the things I would normally put in it because we're doing this extreme budget, but I'm gonna use some mayonnaise. I am hooked on this Duke's brand. I was always a Hellmann's girl, but Duke's it now. We're going to add some onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. Now, I'm going to be using this ranch seasoning, and as you see, I wrote all over it because I don't want Eric accidentally getting his hands on that. No, Eric, you can't have that. No, don't eat it. It has milk. We're going to use this. You could add it to this just to carry the flavors across everything, but I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I don't know if I'm going to keep the carrots, lose the carrots, but I'll decide because I'm not super hungry and the meal I have planned might be a little bit more than I can eat. So let's get going. I'm not going to add this to the chicken, but you could. We're just going to do the normal stuff. Some mayo, a little bit of garlic. I don't know why I poured this in my hand. Now my hands are going to smell like garlic. I was just afraid I was going to put too much in there, to be honest. And I got a couple of shakes left in this of onion. Some pepper. A pinch of salt. Now we're going to mix this up. And I'm probably going to do a little more mayonnaise in that. I go light on the mayonnaise because I'm not a mayonnaise-y kind of girl. I like mine a little bit on the drier side. Oh, that was a lot. Maybe not. I don't know. I do a tiny bit at a time. I think this could use a dash more. Now, for everybody else to be like, oh, that's bone dry, Tina. What are you doing? I'm doing it on purpose. Ooh. Keep thinking I'm putting too much in there. I'm purposefully not adding too much. Yeah. For me, that's good. I'm going to taste it for salt and pepper ratio and all the seasonings I just put in there. All right, so we're going to put this in the fridge, let it marinate together. I'm going to warm up the soup, and then I'm going to show you. I got those tortilla shells out. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. Well, we're going to do a wrap, of course, but that's not all we're doing. And that's way more chicken than I can eat. This would easily make 2 wraps for anybody who has a normal size appetite. I just took a bite of that. It's already good. It didn't even sit. I got a full bowl of soup over here. I still have quite a bit left. So I'm gonna cut this up into pieces and we're gonna make chips out of it. We're gonna make ranch flavored chips. So what we're gonna do is, I was gonna cut it in triangles, but I wanna make a bunch of them. So I'm just gonna give it a go and just keep making my triangles smaller and smaller as I go. Kind of like getting a twice cut pizza, you know what I mean? There we go. So we're gonna need a little bit of oil, not much. Pantry staples. All right, let me get the oil and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. And now I know why those chips were so big. I grabbed the wrong pack. I grabbed the burrito size. This is mine that I bought for the challenge. So it's only one. It's not gonna make or break it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna make one, but you can make two. While our chips are doing their thing over there, I'm gonna get to this. And we're gonna roll it up. You could make this a burrito if you fried it. That's the only difference between a tortilla and a burrito. Now see how much is in there? This is one of those big old Walmart bowls. I'm gonna put half of it in there just so you could see what, hold on a second, my microwave is done. The soup is done. All right, it's gonna keep beeping if I didn't do that. I'm gonna put this half, oops, I almost dropped it, in the tortilla. I might just make two. One of the other kids will probably eat it. I tuck my ends in and just roll her up. Actually, I'm gonna make both. See how much food I'm making, that this will actually feed anybody. Much better. Let's get back to the chips. I'm gonna put this wire rack over some paper towel, or over a paper towel with foil so it can catch the grease. So we're gonna have to do this in batches because I have several of these. We're gonna drop them down, and as we take them out, we're gonna hit them with a little bit of that, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hit them with a little bit of that ranch dressing. I mean, this goes quick. I'll show you on the last one how I do these, because for me to keep moving the camera back and forth is going to be too much work. I got to get my grabbers out. All right, so let me continue this batch and I'll be back. Okay, so there you go. I'm just going to take some of this. I'm going to put it in there and give it a good old shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. I can't do it here because I'm afraid it's going to pop out on the burner. The burner's still hot. All right, so I'm going to plate this up. I'll show it to you. Well, there you go. Look at that plate of food. I have two big old wraps. We got a handful of carrots, a boatload of chips, and a full bowl of soup. And those are ranch flavored chips. So now I'm going to meet you at the table. I'm at the table all by myself. I like it better when I have company. Look at this food. Just look at the amount of food. And this is a big plate. It's a little bigger than the average size plate, but it's a plate nonetheless. And then a whole bowl of soup. No, I can't finish this. But we're gonna give it a go anyway. I'm gonna try the chicken salad, carrots, garlic, onion, pepper, salt. That's good. I didn't want to add the ranch to that because I was afraid it was gonna take over the whole everything tastes like ranch, but it might be pretty good if it was in there. Here go my chips. I'm gonna pick out a good one. I'll take a little one. Oh. Yummy! I've never made these before, I just thought it up. I'm gonna make those again. This might be my new kick. Now the soup I already had, but let's give it a go. Well, that's a little cold. Needs to warm up a little bit, but it's really good. That's really good. Need to warm it up a little bit more, but there you have it. This is a giant plate of food. I know I'm not finishing this, but I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This is what you're going to need. I have a chicken breast. It's wrapped up in a Ziploc baggie because I froze it because I didn't want the meat to go bad while it was sitting in my refrigerator. I have enough here for a serving size for me of macaroni. I'm not sure if I'm going to do tomato sauce or if I'm going to use it as macaroni. The carrots. I think I'm going to do a roasted vinaigrette carrot. I forgot to mention, we're going to be making barbecued chicken, meaning barbecue sauce. We're not going to the grill. All right, I'm going to get out the ingredients, what we're going to need for the barbecue, because as you recall, I did not buy barbecue sauce. So we're going to have to make it from some pantry staples. And we're talking about a tablespoon of this, a couple of well, maybe some are a little bit more than a couple of tablespoons, but I'll show you. Here's everything you're going to need for the barbecue sauce. I intentionally made more than I need because I need some for another dish. So rather than making it twice, I could just refer you back to this. So I'm making I took my normal, how I make it, and cut it all the way down to like maybe a fourth of the recipe. So, because I make a big vat of it. Not a vat, but anyway. Anyway, you're going to need, for what I'm making, you're going to need 6 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons red wine vinegar, a dash of W sauce, because the thing calls for a tablespoon, 1/4 cup water, a half a teaspoon paprika, a half a teaspoon dried mustard, which you could also use yellow mustard, and this is what the dry mustard looks like. 6 tablespoons of brown sugar and salt and pepper. Okay, for the chicken, I am going to season it even though I'm putting barbecue sauce on it. I'm going to use some onion powder, garlic powder, some seasoned salt, and some pepper. I'm just going to do it to taste. I'm going to do all over the chicken and under the skin. Always make sure you get under the skin. Much like the breading, I say, what happens when the breading falls off and you have no seasoning on your meat? When it's stuffed with chicken, same thing. You pick the chicken off, the skin off, you eat that, and then there's no seasoning left for your meat. So I put it under and I put it over. So I'm just going to pull back where I can. And that's it. I'm going to do the same thing to the top. And we're just going to bake it in the oven until it's ready for the barbecue sauce. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was out of frame. There you go. So I'm going to flip her over, and in the oven she's going. Okay. So we're going to make the barbecue sauce. We're going to add the water. The stove is not on yet. I'm just mixing it in this shallow pan so you can see. I already told you what the measurements were, but if you don't get it, I will provide it in the description box below. Vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, the W. paprika, yellow mustard, brown sugar. It's a lot, but I'd say I was making healthy. All right, so we're just gonna warm that through. It's gonna get nice and thick. And I keep forgetting to put it out. You put ever so slightly, you put some cornstarch in a water slurry, and that makes it super thick. Or as thick as you want it, I should say. It's a little ketchup-y, that taste. But I wanted to keep cooking before it needs a little bit more of the W sauce. Because I didn't measure it, I just put a dash, and I know what it's supposed to taste like, and that wasn't it. Now what I did is I made a slurry of a teaspoon of cornstarch and a teaspoon of water, equal parts, depending on what amount you use. If you made a whole pot of it, you wouldn't just use a teaspoon, you'd probably use a tablespoon or two. This is just what I had the paprika in, so it's got a little bit of funny color to it. That's that. We're just gonna wait for it to thicken and set it to the side, wait for the chicken to knead it. And then I have this also for my recipe that I'm gonna make, that I also need barbecue sauce for. That's as thick as I'm gonna make it, because if I make it a little bit thicker while it's standing, it thickens. So I don't wanna make it super thick. All right, so I'm gonna take my carrots. This is quite a bit of carrots for me. It's a serving for the roasted carrots. I'm gonna half them and then half them like this way. And then I think I'm gonna go right down the center. You could leave them whole if you wanted to. I wanna leave them smaller because I kinda want them to cook a little bit quicker. That made a lot of carrots. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, because we're gonna roast them first before we put the dressing on it. Okay, so I'm gonna add this to the pan that I just sprayed. Teaspoon of oil on it. Some salt. And some pepper. And she's gonna go in the oven until they're tender. There goes our chicken. I'm gonna put some barbecue sauce on it in just a minute. I wanted to show you how thick this got. That's why I didn't want it to be like super thick when I turned it off, because it does thicken when it stands. So that's perfect for me. So we're just gonna give them a bit of a toss. See how they're getting nice, that brown? I want that. That is intentional, that is not burnt. Just gonna put them in there for a couple of more seconds. And then we're gonna take them out and put the glaze that we're gonna make on it. All right, so I'm gonna be doing this in splash and dashes. So we're gonna add some oil, olive oil, splash of vinegar. I have red wine. It calls for white wine, but I only have red wine. A squirt of some Dijon mustard. Some garlic powder. And then I'm gonna give that a really good shake. All right, and that's there. I'm gonna put a splash of lemon in there. You even see it in the cap. Just a dash. All right, so we're gonna take some of this homemade barbecue sauce and we're just gonna dap it on. Oh, I want to do the underneath first. Okay. I have more barbecue sauce, I just took some out. All right, we're gonna put that back in the oven with the carrots, and all we gotta do is warm up our macaroni and cheese, and we're gonna be eating dinner. Okay, I'm still working on this box, the original box of macaroni and cheese, to take out some of the powder in there. My pasta. This is what I made the barbecue sauce. You can still see a little bit in there. Just give it a nice little dousing. We're going to hit it with a little bit of the shredded cheese. I have quite a bit of that left over. A dollop of butter. Add a drop or two of milk. And we're we're gonna heat that together, and then we're gonna add salt and pepper. We're just gonna hit it with some salt and pepper, and that is done. Just give it a good old mix. Let me get everything out of the oven, and we're gonna start plating things up. Almost forgot to show you me putting the flavor onto the carrots. And I'm just gonna toss them around. Gotta give those just a little bit of a toss. And we're just putting it in just to warm this through. Look at that! I'm gonna put a little bit of parsley on top just for some pretty. And that is all we're gonna do. I'm gonna meet you at the table. I'm at the table. Let's get right to it. I don't have Eric to talk to. I miss him for this. But that came right apart. That's a big piece. I want to take a smaller bite than that. Take a little extra barbecue sauce on it. Ready? Go. I make really good barbecue sauce. It doesn't taste the same as it does in the pot when it gets on your food. That's a 10 out of 10. Try these veggies. Nope. That is delicious. Yeah, that's good. Macaroni and cheese, I know it's going to be good because it's macaroni and cheese, but I'll take a bite anyway. Nice and cheesy. That plate, 10 out of 10 for me. Hits all the spots. You got your sweet, you got your savory, you got it all going on this plate. So, I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Here's what you're going to need for tonight's dinner. So, I hope the soup is done. I can't wait anymore. I got out the little bit of cheddar cheese that I had left over from last night, the rest of the block, and I have some of the quesadillas. I'm going to open them up and have one of those today. Oh, I did open them. Have one today with my soup. I'm going to shred up a little bit of cheese. I probably should shred it all up at one time, but I don't want to, because I might want to do something different. I don't know. So I'm just going to use this and shred it. And because it's extra sharp, you don't need as much. And if you don't push as hard, it comes out a little bit thinner. And I'm only making one. That should be enough for a quesadilla, because I don't like a lot of cheese. All right, now actually I'm gonna put a little bit extra because I am just doing cheese quesadilla. I decided against making a chicken cheese quesadilla. Okay, a little bit more. There you go. So now let's get over to the stove. All right, so I got my pan nice and warm. Gotta throw my little quesadilla in there. And we're just gonna do it. I like mine crunchy. I don't like them soft and chewy. Still have some cheese left. I thought I was gonna need more than I did. Alrighty, I'm gonna cover that up. Gonna use the lid from my kids' dinner. Boom. Just gonna let that melt down real quick. Boom! And now I'm gonna do it like this, and I'm gonna cook it until it's good and brown on both sides, because I like mine brown. See that? That's what I like. I actually like it a little bit more than that. But this is about done. I'm gonna plate up the, I'll let you see me plate up the soup so you can see what it looks like inside. I'm gonna call that good. Boom. Let's get this soup. Oh wait, I like to do the edge. I like to do that little bendy part, but it is a little hot. So, we're not gonna do that part. All right, let's get to the soup. Woo! Look at all of that. Woo! Let me move that back and show you it in the bowl. Okie dokie. Let me show you what we got in here. I don't have a ladle, but... Well, I do have a ladle. I just don't have it in my hand. Quite a bit. I'm not even sure I want all that meat. Well, there we go. This pot will last me all week. I just want to show you this. A whole quesadilla and a big old bowl. It's low, but it is wide. See if we get that cheese pull going on, because it was, oh, it sat for a minute, but you still got some of that cheesy goodness. Woo! All right. Dinner time. Got some soup. And I got some quesadilla. We're gonna do it both. Gonna dip it in there. Push some of this on there. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Mmm. That's good soup. That's really good soup. Mmm. Even better. Look at it. I thought about frying some and making chips to put on top, but I thought this would be fine. Here's everything you're going to need mostly. The barbecue sauce is still in the refrigerator, the homemade barbecue sauce that I made. But you're gonna need some chicken. I have out a breast, a wing, and a leg. I don't think I need all of that chicken, but this particular week is coming to an end and I wanna cook up the chicken that I have left. I still have another piece for another video, but if I don't use it all, somebody will eat it. Anyway, so you're gonna need some seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, 1 or 2 of the flour tortillas, depending on how hungry I am or you are if you're following this recipe plan, some shredded cheese, and again, the chicken. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is spray the pan down. Then I'm gonna put all this chicken on here upside down because I wanna season it. I wanna season the bottom first. Piece doesn't wanna get on the fork. And we're just gonna do the normal. Some seasoning salt. And under the skin as well. Can't get under that skin. Onion powder. No, that was garlic, I'm sorry. This is onion. A little bit I have left in this thing. Some pepper. And some paprika. I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing. Boom. 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 All right, in the oven, that goes. And we're just gonna cook it so that we could shred it. Chicken is done. I'm gonna start shredding that up. For a minute, I thought it wasn't done. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna pull it apart with the fork. All right. So I put the bones over there and I put the skin over there because although I'm not using it in this recipe, the kids like it. So I'm just going to shred that up the rest of the way and be done with it. All right, there's my pile of chicken. That told you that skin wouldn't last. Somebody already came down and grabbed it. Yeah. All right, onward, forward. Okay, so this step you can take or leave. I'm going to add some chicken to that bowl, add some barbecue sauce to the bowl, and then I'm going to stick it under the broiler to char up the ends a little bit. My plan was to make 2 of these pizzas, but I'm not super hungry today. I can make it just to show it to you how much you would get, but I won't be the one eating it. Somebody else will be eating it all. So I'm going to put all that chicken in here that I shred. Actually, I could have just mixed it in that bowl. I don't know why I didn't. Anyway, let's get to the barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit. And give it a mix. Because we don't need a lot on the chicken because we're also going to put it on the pizza. I just want to crisp it up a little bit. And like I said, you could take it or leave it. I'm taking it. Let me put just a little bit more on there. I want it to at least be pink. All right. I turned my oven to broil. And I'm just going to crisp these up under the broiler real quick. Not real long. Just crisp it up. I like it when they get like little chars on the ends, but doesn't have to be like that. Okay, I'll put that in the oven. All right, that's how I wanted it, crisped up. Let's start assembling. Okay, so I still have that much of the cheese left. I have quite a bit. I can go crazy with it. So I gotta grate up some of this cheese. See if that's enough. All right, don't judge me for my pans. They're well used, well loved. And I bought them from the Dollar Tree and I have like 10 of them, but they all kind of stay like that. Barbecue sauce that I made the other day. I'll put some of that down here. And over here. Now I'm not gonna eat 2, but I'm gonna make 2. Just so you can see what you would get if you were following this, like I said before. Depending on how much sauce you like. All right, so I'm gonna take about half of the chicken that I had. Hold on a second. And I'm gonna spread it all over this pizza. Don't mind the fingers. Okay, still have a little bit of chicken left, but that's good. Let's see if I shaved up enough cheese. All right, in the oven, that goes, just until it's all pizza-ish. Woo! Look at these. Now, Emma. Oh, I can't stand it. Look at that. That's gonna be delicious. Let me cut that up, and I'm gonna see you at the table. That looks so yummy. I can't even wait to eat it. When I tell you that's the biggest plate I own, that's the biggest plate I own. Look at all that food. I'm at the table. I can't wait to eat it. I know I can't eat it all, but I can't wait to eat it. Let me pick a good one. Pick a good one. I picked the one that wasn't cut all the way through. Sorry. Oh, the barbecue sauce is good. Let's go. Mmm. I'm so busy licking my fingers. That is delicious. I don't know how people make barbecued pizza quesadilla things, but this is how I make it. I don't know if it's the right way or wrong way, but it's a good way. 10 out of 10. I would eat this. Struggle meal? Who's struggling? I don't know her. See you later. Bye-bye. For this meal, you're going to be using some of the pasta, not the cheese. You're going to be using the chicken breast. I hope that's a breast. It might be a big thigh. I don't know. And some carrots. Here's everything you're going to need for the chicken. You're going to need the chicken that I have to take off of the bone. A teaspoon of cornstarch or 2. 1 or 2 teaspoons of paprika, depending on how red you want it. A teaspoon of onion, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, a 1/2 teaspoon of Knorr seasoning. I put too much in there. Salt and pepper to taste. Now you know what I'm using cooking with chicken. I always sub out the salt for Lawry's seasoning salt. Some olive oil, and it calls for 1/2 of a lime, the juice of 1/2 of a lime. I don't have lime, so I'm going to use what I have on hand always, which is lemon. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix all of these ingredients together, and then I'll get down to deboning the chicken. First thing I'm going to do is dice up some of the carrots for the stir fry. And I'm going to cut them. The way you cut them doesn't matter, but today I'm going to do them kind of like on an angle like that, so they look like this. That's how I'm going to cut them. So you can cut them any way you want. Alrighty, we're down to the last one. I think that's enough carrots. We're doing one person, not the entire family. So I think that's good right there. I'm going to cook what's left in this box, which is quite a bit. I'm going to cook that up till it's al dente. I want it a little bit chewy, not all the way done. All right, when I tell you I debone that, I thought it was a breast, but it's a thigh. I got almost nearly all of the meat off. What I'm going to do with the bones, though, while I'm cooking just the chicken, I'm going to throw the bone in there so whatever meat that's still attached will cook up. Like this piece right here has meat that I can't get off of it, so I'm just going to throw it in. I'm going to dice this up into some pieces. So I got my chicken all cut up. I'm going to put it in this bowl because we want it to marinate a little bit. So we're going to add the paprika, depending on how red you want, if you want 2 in there or not. That was 2 full teaspoons. I'm going to leave a little bit out. Some cornstarch. This is Knorr chicken flavor. Garlic and onion powder. Ooh, that's a lot. Some seasoned salt. So I'm just going to put the lid on this thing and shake me shake to get it all coated all around in there. This is what you're going to need for the vegetable, the carrots. You're going to need some oil, ginger, some Knorr seasoning, salt, pepper, rehydrated like I've showed you many times before. Of the onions, it's equal parts onion to warm water, and then you have an onion again. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of carrots, but I don't have as much, so I just went a little bit light on the carrots. All right, in the pan, we're going to add 1/2 of the oil. I only put 1/2 in there, so it's all of my oil. Going to add the carrots. To give it a minute, and I mean a minute, not a long time, maybe 30 seconds. And then we're going to start adding the seasonings, and we're going to saute. And if you need more oil, you can add more. Add a little bit of pepper, salt, the Knorr chicken seasoning, ginger. Now I'm not going to put all the ginger because I'm not a fan of ginger, but the onion. I may not even add all that onion. I'm going to go with 1/2 of it. All right, so we're going to saute these until they're soft. All right, they're done. They got a little bit of a bite to it, and I want that. It's soft, but not soft. Snappy, maybe that's the word. All right, so I'm going to take these out, put it to the side, and we'll do the chicken. We're almost finished here. Boom, firing it back up the pan. I don't know why I rinsed it out a little bit. Same flavors, but I don't know. Rinsed it out anyway. All right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the rest of your oil, put it in, add the chicken. Now I got bones and things like that in mind that will come out. So you're gonna spread it out and you're gonna leave it undisturbed for about 3 to 4 or 5 minutes so it gets brown. I'm leaving that chicken skin in there. I'm gonna pull that out as well, but I'm using it for flavor. All right, so we're gonna give these a little flipperoo. I see this one here, I flipped it. That's what we're gonna do. Just flip each piece. Alrighty, there we go. I'm gonna take out these pieces of skin that I didn't want. I'm sure Yasmin will enjoy them because she loves that stuff. Let me get a little bit of the oil out of here. I don't want to get all of it out, just want to get some of it out. And then I want to deglaze the pan. In go the carrots. Give that a little mixy poo. Oh, I forgot to take the bone out. Okay, so now we're going to add, I probably need a little bit more lemon than this, but we're going to deglaze the pan with lemon. Maybe I need, now you can add chicken broth from bouillon to this if you like it more soupy. I usually do, but the recipe that I'm loosely following says you can do that, but she rarely does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this in the back real quick, and the pasta that's been sitting here, I'm going to make it like a buttered noodle, I guess, and serve it over top of that. So I'm going to move this to the back burner for just a minute. Okay, I'm just going to add some butter to the pan and salt and pepper, and that's what we're going to do with it. Almost done. And I'm just going to add some salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of the chicken seasoning. I think I might do that just for the heck of it, to carry all the flavors through everything. Pepper. I'm not going to add salt because I'm going to add the other. Just got to add like a little bit. I'll let you know how that turns out because I'm not even sure. I just feel like it could use it. Alrighty. Let's get to plating up. It's time to eat. And there she goes. That is a giant plate of food. I'm going to stick a little bit of parsley on top because I don't do the green onions and all that kind of stuff. You could use green onions on top, but I'm just going to pretty it up with a little bit of parsley.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
Last meal. Let me tell you, I tasted the noodle. Just one little noodle out of the pan. That was really good. I never made buttered noodles and then added some Knorr chicken flavor to it. Go figure. I've not tasted any of this yet. You're gonna get a true reaction from me as to what I think about it. So if it's nasty, I'm sorry. If it's not, then I'm not sorry. Get some of the pasta. Get a little bit of the carrot. My vision is so bad I can't tell what's carrot, what's chicken. That's funny. All right, I got a little bit of pasta, a little bit of carrot, and a little bit of chicken. Just want to make sure it wasn't too hot before I go shoving it in my mouth. There we go. Wow. It's really good. It's really good. The only thing I would say, it's a little salty, but not a lot salty. But I can taste that there's salt in here, so I got to dial back the salt factor a little bit, but I think that's from the Knorr. But other than that, oh my goodness. If I could, I would eat this whole plate. So that's it. That's our week's worth of meals from the little one chicken and some carrots that we got. And I'm going to show you what we have as leftovers. So I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye. Here's everything we have left. And I can tell you, I could probably get at least 2 more meals out of this. They wouldn't be the biggest meals, but they'd be meals nonetheless. They wouldn't have any meat either. But, well, the soup will. So, here we go. I have a block of cheese, some shavings, 3 tortillas, a little bit of carrot, half of the container of soup still to go. I made more than I could possibly eat. And this, I never even opened it. It's still a closed box. So, there you go. That's a whole, I don't know what that cost me because I can't remember. It's been all week. But there you go. That's everything I have left. I could take that soup and make it carrots and pasta in it. I can make some quesadillas. I could pull the chicken out of the soup and cheese and make it, make something like that, like a chicken quesadilla instead of just a cheese quesadilla. I could plain old macaroni and cheese and slice up some. I was going to make with the carrots, I was going to make these French fry things that I saw with carrots. I may do it in another video. It just didn't make the cut for this video. I also want to add that everything that I made, my kids were eating what I couldn't eat. So if I were to guess, because I don't eat a whole lot, at least half of it would still be on the table if the kids weren't eating it. But that's because I'm a smaller eater. I say it all the time. But if you're not a big eater, that could have gone even farther. So there you have it. There's my week of dinners.